Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the economic data. We'll look at some news that came out. We'll do an overview of the charts, and then we'll look at the trading opportunities from today. So on the economic data front, we did have U.S. Biden speak today about the banking crisis that is happening. I did not watch this, so I can't really comment on what he said. I don't usually watch anything that he says. But there was no real economic data that came out today. But tomorrow we do have CPI, so keep an eye out for that. That should be extremely interesting to see what happens with that. So now we'll look at some news. So the bank run that has happened recently has been the second and third largest bank failures in the U.S. history. As you can see here, 209 billion and 118 billion. The largest was Washington Mutual back during the Great Financial Crisis. The FDIC did establish a bridge bank to protect all depositors. So it wasn't a full bailout that the Fed is doing in the FDIC, but they're protecting depositors, but they're pretty much letting the shareholders and like the board of the banks, burn, which they should. Here's just something the top 10 largest banks, as you can see: JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC Bank, Truist, Goldman Sachs, TD Bank, and Capital One. Today we had the 2-year Treasury yield down over 100 basis points in the last 3 trading days. This is the largest 3-day decline in yield since October 1987 stock market crash, which I'm pretty sure that was Black Friday or Monday, whichever they call it. Here we have Goldman Sachs saying that due to the most recent banking collapse and the stress in the system, they are no longer expecting the Fed to raise interest rates coming up this month. So now we'll look at the charts. We'll start here in the debt market because it is absolutely insane. As you can see, 10-year yield making a massive red candle here, getting a decent little wick though, but really extending through the daily extreme, coming down into these weekly levels here. The dollar, red day in the dollar, getting continuation for its 4th red day in a row, breaking through the midline, working its way down to the lower extreme here. As I said in Friday's video, I did expect if this wick closed below the midline that we would get some bearish action here on the weekly chart, and as you can see, that's what we were getting. I do want to show these other bonds because it is absolutely insane what's happening. As you can see, this massive sell-off in the yields. I mean, this is what they're talking about. This is that 2-year going from 5% to 4% in 3 days. That is insane, absolutely crazy. Central banks are out here buying a lot of debt. And as you can see, just 5 and 30 are just absolutely insane price action here in the debt market. Looking at the S&P 500, as you can see, green day here after getting extremely oversold. Kind of finding support down here at this structured right here. Bitcoin, as you can see, monster rally here in Bitcoin after actually wick closing above that midline, staying bullish on the weekly and getting a nice bounce up here, and it's currently sitting up here at the upper end of this daily range. XRP, slightly red on the day, nice wick, really tight range here, as you can see, just extremely squeezed on the weekly. With this massive move in Bitcoin, we have seen the XRP BTC and XRP dominance drop significantly here. Turning to commodities, oil, we have big red day in oil here, getting a wick back inside the lower band. Retesting these previous support from these areas here. Gold continuing its rally after getting a double bottom off the midline on the monthly chart. Absolutely just mooning here, getting well through the upper extreme and busting through the Friday's highs. Silver, same for silver here. Massive green day breaking through that midline, making its way up through towards this midline here on the monthly chart. With this bank run, obviously, commodities like real money, like actual gold and silver, will perform when there is a threat to the dollar and the current financial system. So now we'll turn to the trading opportunities for today. First, we'll take a look at the 15-minute here on the S&P 500. As you can see, this was Friday. We had our sell-off. We did get a big gap down, and then we had some strength, through most of the mid-morning, and then we just kind of faded, got some weakness into the close. Not really a massive sell-off, but we did just kind of get a little fade down here into the close. Yeah, getting rejected here off of, what is this, Thursday's low. Yeah, we ran into Thursday's low up here before pulling back. We can zoom out here on the 2 hours so you can see kind of more what's happening. We did get rejected off that 2 hour trade line here, which also lined up with that Thursday's low as I was talking about. We are finding support down here towards this area. Still bearish on all of the longer term moving averages here. So now we'll look at the 5 minute. Yeah, we're gonna go over some potential trades you could have made here in the S&P 500 to take advantage of today's action. So I do want to turn the pre-market data off for this. So like I said in the last video, I do want to start kind of going over more patterns and stuff, like helping you understand better like pattern identification. Like remember Friday we had the head and shoulders, which is a bearish reversal pattern, which led us to continuation to the downside. We also had a bearish reversal trade here, as you can see. This is a rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern, and we did have resistance up here at Thursday's high. As you can see, you can just draw a line from that. As you can see, we did have a bearish reversal pattern coming in here, running into resistance, which is also the 2 hour trade line. You could have taken advantage of this breakdown here, getting short in for a move down back to retest VWAP. With the squeeze, I know there was a momentum squeeze here to the upside, but with all the moving averages and everything and still a bearish posture, you don't want to get long into something like that. So yeah, that's just another good pattern that you should know how to identify. There was some squeezes today that I wanted to go over. Apple had a squeeze, and it was up here at the top of the list. But I'm going to show you, as you can see here, it is not the best squeeze. I'm going to turn this pre-market data back on. So as you can see, we got our push up, we got our pullback, we got a slight consolidation, got a momentum shift to the upside with the squeeze. And you see here, we made a move, but obviously not the greatest move. We didn't even get a retest of the highs. I was watching these contracts. If you got in here during the squeeze momentum shift for the break of the downtrend line, these contracts only went up about 20%. So, not really the best trade here on Apple. I'm going to show you why. I mean, it was a squeeze, which got you the move, but as you can see here on the 30-minute, we did have this downtrend line that was coming in here for resistance, so it did not have that much room to the upside. Going back to the scanner, we did have Amazon. Amazon did make a better squeeze than Apple did. As you can see here, Amazon pushing up, getting the pullback consolidation, breaking this here downtrend, getting the squeeze with momentum to the upside, and it actually broke and made a new high of the day. So this was obviously a better trade than Apple. And like I've said in previous videos, if you do have some of the top 5 companies on here, you definitely need to watch those. But we can zoom out here on Amazon so you can see what kind of move we had here. So as you can see, I have this line drawn here from, what is this, Thursday's lows. And as you can see, we pushed up through, getting rejected from Friday's highs, pulling back into Thursday's lows with a trade line crossing over the 20 for a nice area of support before pushing up to this upper extreme here. We also did have here on the 1 hour bands acting as support. So yeah, this was just a better trade than Apple because Apple did have that kind of downtrend line. And if you look on Amazon here, we can see we are actually breaking a downtrend. So yeah, when it came to like which one to pick, because we had Apple and Amazon both on the scanner, yeah, that just comes down to like daily charting and longer time frame analysis to identify which one has more upside potential. There was some other squeezes today too, like Mara. This is a Bitcoin mining company. As you see, you got the push-up rejection off the 50-day, the pullback, the momentum shift to the upside with the squeeze, and then we got continuation to the high of the day. But as I've said multiple times before, especially if your account is under $25,000, you probably want to avoid like more cheaper stocks like this and just focus mainly on your Apples, Amazons, Nvidias, Tesla, just trading those options because those are more consistent opportunities and better to learn to trade on. But if your account's over 25,000, you're above PDT and you kind of like got a lot more money to risk, feel free to, go ahead and take advantage of, a lot of the squeezes that you find because, if you've watched the squeeze video, these are, when you do get a squeeze, that is the best opportunity to enter into a trade. Palantir, this was also at the top of the list. That's not it. Hold on. Palantir, as you can see, it also had a squeeze. It got its massive run up here, pull back, squeeze, but as you see, not that nice of a move. And see, that's a lot of the risk here with these smaller companies. Yeah, but I think that was it for the most of the trades I want to go over because we had Apple and Amazon on the top here of the board, and those provided good opportunities. We can actually look at the Amazon contract so we can see what kind of move we got there. Okay, yeah, let's pull these up. You hear these Apple contract? Yeah, these only made like a 20% move. So where were we at on Amazon? We were at 92.83. So let's look at these 93s. So yeah, here we have the 93 strike call options. And if your entry was here on the momentum shift, these went up about 28%. So definitely a better trade than Apple. Yeah, just, nice squeeze overall. I think that'll do it. There's not really any other trades I wanted to go over, especially with, having these on the top of the board. So yeah, I think that'll do it for today's video. Shorter than usual, but yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. So appreciate y'all watching the video, and I will talk to y'all later.